Man United 0, Arsenal 1. And Arsenal just proved on how good they are as a defensive unit. They are monsters in defense. And seriously, we looked at Manchester United pretty much dominating most of the attacking plays throughout the whole game. However, what happened was they weren't clinical enough up front. They did not create enough good openings for them to score. And Mbeumo was really on fire, essentially trying to create and conjure up a lot of the attacks that Man United had. Obviously, Cunha was absolutely sensational as well, but they lacked that little bit extra up front. And I think that's the story of Man United's team under Amorim. They look quite lost on the pitch. They look very disorganized. And without the individual quality of Mbeumo and Cunha in the team, and Ahmad when he came on looked very bright. Without those individuals, essentially, Man United wouldn't have done much at all throughout the match. And I look at Arsenal as a team that is definitely going to compete for the Premier League this season because their defensive record stands on its own ground. They have a very, very good defense and probably the best defensive team in the whole of England, in the whole of that Premier League. And the reason being is because they have Saliba and Gabriel. They are the best defensive partnership in world football. I don't care what anybody says. They are the best two together, combined. And when you have also Miles Lewis-Skelly and you have Timber also, then it's going to create no openings for the opposition team. Man United are not going to have any openings. We saw various attacks from Man United diverted into the centre after going out wide, especially Ahmad when he came on, feeding the channels. But in the centre stood two absolute monsters. Those two guys are going to keep Arteta live and kicking throughout the majority of the season. However, for me, in attack, Arsenal disappointed massively. Apart from the goal, what else did they do apart from that set piece? They did absolutely nothing. They didn't create nothing. I know they're at Old Trafford, but the situation stands as this. They have nothing up front. Gyökeres was absolutely shambolic throughout pretty much the whole game. He didn't do nothing. He lost control. His first touch today was an absolute shambles. And they're going to have this recurring theme throughout the whole season because Gyökeres is not the player that everybody thinks he is when he doesn't have the time and space that needs to be given to him for him to let loose. In terms of a shooting opportunity or in terms of driving through the defence, he didn't have that today. Man United were on the front foot for pretty much the whole of the match. Arsenal had a few opportunities here and there, but nothing that stood out. So Arteta, in terms of attacking opportunities, needs to work on this for their next game. Man United need to work on their clinical approach for the next game as well, because they had literally so many opportunities in the box to actually just bloody shoot the ball against Raya. And Mbeumo with an absolute direct header saved by Raya. And then obviously Cunha cut in, I remember, on the left-hand side, and another brilliant save by Raya. So Raya was absolutely one of the man of the matches for Arsenal today. And obviously the two centre-backs again, because they just stood their ground. So Arsenal have the defence. Man United wouldn't even say have the attack, but Cunha and Mbeumo are looking like they're going to be serious problems in the Premier League. But Man United to lose to Arsenal at OT is a different ball game altogether. They need to be looking at themselves big time because I tell you what, they carry on like this, they carry on missing chances, then do you know what? They're not going to be too above their last season placing. They're not going to be there because it takes a lot more than just 2-3 additions in terms of Sesko, Cunha and Mbeumo to actually do something, to actually create the opportunities that they need. Yes, they're fluid. They're very fluid. I love Cunha. He's a great, great player. We saw today what he offers, driving directly through the centre or going on the left-hand side, causing problems for the defensive end of the opposition, like Arsenal. But that team there, Man United, they need to have a hard look at themselves, and it all stems from the manager. Bruno Fernandes was one of the main causes of that set piece. It inadvertently led to the set piece because that pass in that situation, in that area, is a horrific pass to give. Putting your teammates under pressure and then eventually you get into the corner where Declan Rice just floats it in and it ends up in the back of the net. It ends up because the goalkeeper didn't stand on his feet. You saw Raya claiming crosses, punching the ball away. But by in there, didn't. He didn't have that. He didn't have that in him. And that is another factor. Man United's goalkeeping. The situation there. The defense looked a bit shaky on times in set pieces. They need to work on that. There's a lot of variety of different things that Man United need to work on. And I don't think Amarim's the guy to do that. He has that soft approach as a manager. You can see it on the touchline. He's not really that vocal and that strict about it. They need a very, very pragmatic manager to guide them through this league season because they can do well based on individuals. But I tell you what, as a team, they don't work as well. They don't. And Arsenal, for all the lack of attacking plays that they had, they were very calm. They were very level-headed, doing the usual stuff that Arsenal do. We all know too well, as Real Madrid fans, as myself, what Arsenal bring when it comes to the defensive end of the match. They bring the heat there. And if you have a great defense, you have a chance of winning a Premier League because it all stems from there. That is the backbone of the team. And then all you need to do is rely on certain opportunities to go your way. But Gyökeres today, first Premier League match to play against Manchester United, didn't do nothing. He was just a zombie out there. That's what he was. A complete and utter zombie. And Arsenal fans, they may be happy about the result, but they're not going to be happy about the performance. They won't be because Man United were pinning Arsenal back. And this is Manchester United pinning Arsenal back. They were pinning them back continuously throughout the match. Yes, they're a goal down. Obviously, you expect Manchester United to be on the resurgency when they are a goal down. However, to have that and continuously be pinned back, you have to speak some extra motivation in the players just to get up the pitch. And you saw it when, obviously, Ødegaard has the ball in the middle. He doesn't know what to do sometimes. He just stands there and looks gormless at times. He's not in control of anything. People will say, oh, maybe Ødegaard had a good game. I don't think he had a good game. Pretty average. Saka was non-existent for the most part of the match, but sometimes he had opportunity to cut in and didn't have it. Didn't do it. So this is Arsenal in a nutshell. I think this season, if you look at it against the big teams, they're going to try and beat the big six clubs. Well, being part of the big six. They're going to try and beat those teams. They're going to try and beat your Spurs. They're going to try and beat your Man Cities, Liverpools, Manchester United, Chelsea's. They're going to try and beat those teams continuously away from home. If they can do that, then they have a really good chance of winning the Premier League because the result is what counts at the end of the day. It's 3 points to Arsenal. They may have won only 1-0. They may have had very limited time to shoot on goal, but they actually got the result. And it is literally set piece FC again. That's what they done. They won by a set piece. And that's how it is. Sometimes you just need to take it. Look, if Real Madrid beat Barcelona by one set piece, I don't even care. That's how it is. Because if we had a defense like Arsenal, we'll be winning much more. But just to go and touch on this match again, an absolutely masterclass of a defensive performance from Arsenal. Masterclass of a defensive performance. Really, monsters in defense. And those two, I tell you what, Saliba, Gabriel, they complement each other so well. When you have solid figures as well, solid figures like Miles Lewis-Skelly, unreal performance anyway from the defense. Attack, Nowhere near to seen. Nowhere near to be seen. But guys, take care. Have a good day. It's time to end the stream, Dave, and we are out. Take care.